Today's video, I'm going to be breaking down everybody as you pushed out so you can have a better understanding of it, and most importantly, how you can start applying this to your life so you can get the changes, live the life that you want to live. So let's get started. I feel like this is one of the most commonly misunderstood aspects of Neville, which is I am creating that behavior in that person. So I really want to break it down because I feel like that is a very dangerous and destructive view of it, in my personal opinion. The way that I see it is everyone is your beliefs about yourself pushed out. And I'm going to show you on the board what this looks like so you can better understand it. Because if you're having something, some sort of experience, some sort of interaction with somebody, it can help give you feedback. What is it that you need to shift in terms of your self-concept, in terms of how you see yourself in that internal psycho-cybernetic mechanism? How can you change that? Because when you change that, what you see in your outside world will change. Why is this? It's not that you're creating it instantly. According to Dr. Bruce Lipton, we have about 50, that's 50,000,000, 50 million bits of information coming into our unconscious per second. And what comes into our conscious awareness, what we're actually able to think about right now in our beta brain waves that you have and I have right now, 40 of those. That is such a tiny fraction of what is actually available. So as you become aware of what you're experiencing, you can make the inner shifts. So with everybody you pushed out, I want to reiterate this. You are not creating the behavior in those people. They are reflecting a belief you hold about yourself. And what does that mean, Abby? For instance, if you feel like you're not very valuable, if you feel like you're not good enough, you're going to attract people who agree with you. They will treat you like you're not good enough. They will treat you like you don't have worth. Now, the severity of that can really go in a lot of different ways. That could be someone being rude to you. That could be them taking you for granted. That can escalate all the way up. In my experience, it was physical abuse. I did not make that person physically harm me, but my view of myself and how they treated me, that is how that wound connected. And again, it's important. Your beliefs about yourself are coming from your past. So if you've had different hurts, different wounds, different traumas, and again, be very aware, there are silent traumas, there are lesser severe traumas. That doesn't mean that it has not impacted you. Nothing abused you in an intense way. However, what you didn't receive that you did need could be a silent trauma. Something you needed as a kid you didn't get. If you didn't get the water you needed, if you didn't get the food you needed, you would be physically malnourished, physically dehydrated, and your body would have an effect. However, emotionally, we can't see these things. So how can you start really understanding what your view and your beliefs and your assumptions are about yourself? Because that's what you're going to be finding in your outside world. Essentially, that the world is a giant mirror and it's going to be reflecting back beliefs. Again, you are not creating that person to treat you that way. They are connecting with you on how you see yourself. When it comes to the law of assumption, what are you giving permission and consent to be true? The more you understand what is it right now, the more you can remove that and replace it with an assumption that is in alignment with the experience you want. If it's about love, if it's about abundance, if it's about a new job, no matter what it is, it's going to rely on how you see yourself. Because as you learn to value yourself differently, people who don't value there'll be dissonance and they will kind of move away, move out of your life. You'll move in a new way, be more rooted, have self-respect, have that self-worth within you. So whatever they're saying, it doesn't register because you know it to not be true. So that will move away. And you'll find somebody who actually does value you, who does see you worthy. So again, I want to draw this out because I feel like that's the most powerful part. I'm very visual about understanding what everybody is you pushed out really means. Here's another world famous drawing of mine. Okay, so everybody is you pushed out. Everybody is your beliefs about yourself. So this box right here is the beliefs you hold about yourself. Again, another way you could say it is your assumptions, your self-concept. And in the self-concept, those are all your assumptions. So out here, this is your veil of reality. So this is basically the 50 million bits of information coming into your subconscious. But this is how you see yourself. With the idea of confirmation bias, you're going to be looking for what confirms who you are. You're looking to confirm who you are with your outside world. So if you feel like you're unlovable, if you feel like you're not worth much, these are highly likely coming from an idea or perception of how you saw your caretakers. They either treated you directly or, again, that silent trauma. Obviously, there's very severe trauma. Then there can also be silent trauma. There could be things, Gabor Mate talks about how it's not so much what happened to you, it's how that thing, that experience affected you inside and how you're able or not able to move in the world after that experience. So again, here you are with how you see yourself, and then there's all these experiences. Even though there's somebody up here who can love you unconditionally, if you feel like you're unlovable, what you'll find in your life is people who agree with you. So you'll connect with that because it matches this. Everybody is you. You have this belief about you, and you found it out here, even though this exists as well. Now, if you feel like you're not very worthy and valuable, this could be a job. This could be actually how people treat you, but I just use the money sign. So even though there's an experience, there's a person that's going to show you that you are valuable, that you are worthy, what you'll find is the experience that aligns with you not feeling valuable. So there's all of these other experiences that exist right now. That's why when you change this, when you realize, oh, this isn't an absolute truth, I'm experiencing this because of what I see about myself. Okay, how can I re-reason on it? How can I change the way I see myself? Well, first you got to be aware of how you see yourself. And that's going to heavily be dependent on what is your circumstances. Neville Goddard talked about your outside circumstances is a direct reflection of your internal consciousness level. So if you know part of the equation, which is your outside circumstances, that those are the beliefs you have, they're getting pushed out, it gives you automatic feedback of how you could see yourself. Now, again, this does get tricky when somebody's treating you really, really bad at such an intensity. From my experience, physical violence, physical assaulting me, that I couldn't relate that I hated me or that I had such aggression towards me, and I didn't. But I did relate to them on the sense that I wasn't very worthy, that I was worth not much. So their expression of that aligned with that belief. It wasn't the intensity, but it certainly was connecting with valuing me very little. When that happens too, other people's wounds are triggered. So that gets poured on. So understanding where you meet on that behavior is important. Not taking total responsibility of the intensity of their actions, because they have their own wounds, they have their own triggers, they have their own assumptions. But what is it that you must believe about yourself to be around somebody who doesn't treat you well? That you're not worth being treated well, that you're not valuable. Things like that is how you can extract the most out of your external circumstances so you can understand your level of consciousness, your level of awareness of your own worth. Understanding how the dynamics of everybody as you pushed out are really happening really allows you to see yourself a little bit more. It's giving you feedback, kind of helping you see those blind spots. So again, from my experience, I kept finding emotionally unavailable people, ultimately finding somebody who was physically abusive. What was it that I believed about myself? Well, if I was finding emotionally unavailable people, my self-concept is I'm not worth emotional connection. I have to work for it. I have to chase it. So they were agreeing with me that I need to chase them in order to try to be in this relationship with them. They had their wounds of why they felt they needed to be chased. And ultimately, if it's a more dismissive where they feel overwhelmed by connection, then they're going to run away. And I'm going to say, oh no, why? I got to go after you. So what is happening in your life right now if it's about a relationship and that person doesn't seem to be available? Do you see yourself as being worthy of somebody emotionally being available? Are you being emotionally available to yourself? Do you see yourself as worthy of emotionally receiving? The more you start to become aware of this dynamic and reading your outside world this way, as opposed to, look, this person's treating me like shit, I must be just shit. No, that reflection of their behavior, I'm somehow agreeing with them. They're agreeing with me. What is it that I believe about me? that I don't deserve much. I deserve crumbs. Okay, their expression of me deserving crumbs is treating me shitty. Okay, well, I don't feel like I need shitty behavior. I just need to resolve the idea that, oh, I feel like I deserve crumbs. Is that true? Where does it come from? Well, early on, when I went for emotional connection with my family, there was never quite enough time for me. Maybe I had a lot of siblings. Maybe my parents worked. And I perceived that all I get when it comes to connection is leftovers. It could be as simple as that to get you to understand, wow, I was 4 years old. I didn't know any better. I didn't realize how they were treating me, what they were giving me is not what I was worth. That's all they had to give me. That means that emotional environment was too small. My emotional needs are not too much. So starting to differentiate you from how others treated you early on is vital. One of the most powerful things I've realized recently from working with different people in my own life, we do emotional echolocating. Basically mean we're sending out, are we okay? Are we good? Am I good? Am I safe? And we're relating that through another person because we had to do that early on. As we learn, oh, I don't need their validation. I have to get clear on my own worth. I have to give my own self permission. I have to give myself validation. As you start to do that, you don't rely on it. And your self-esteem can rise. And when your self-esteem rises, you'll start finding people who agree with you on that level. And everything else will dissipate. And if somebody else comes out, you'll know your truth. And you'll know your wounds versus their wounds. And you can navigate in that truth and in that stability of yourself. If you're making your outside circumstances your worth, you are missing yourself in it. Use your outside world. Everybody is you pushed out. What beliefs can you understand about you? That how they treat you is not a reflection of your worth. It is your illusion of your worth. The more you get clear on your reappraisal and your revalue of yourself to come into your true inheritance, which is what you deserve, your needs to be met, be in a loving, secure relationship, have the abundance, have what you need in your full capacity, the more you'll be able to advocate and be in that realm. Everything else will move away just the same as everything that's agreeing with you. Your beliefs are getting pushed out. Your beliefs are getting animated in your outside world. The more and more you understand this, the more you use your outside as simply feedback so you can make your internal calibrations and shifts and start experiencing the life you really love. Now, if you are experiencing a lot of rejection, this next video right here is going to really help you understand the law of assumption and rejection on how you can shift those assumptions and start aligning with what you want. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.